John, you're on News 96.5. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. A question for Jim Monroe is that a year and a half ago I filed Chapter 7, and it was just I got the discharge and everything, and all my debts were wiped out. But there was a local bank here in town that I had an automobile through, and that was included in the bankruptcy, and it was discharged, but they won't give me the title. What can I do to get the title back from them?
All right, so John, I find that question fascinating, but first let's talk about this. When you file bankruptcy, you can reaffirm certain debts and say, look, I'm in bankruptcy, but I want to keep on paying my car payment and keep my car. What's happened to John here?
Well, I don't know. If he entered into a reaffirmation agreement, of course, after the bankruptcy was filed, he would still be obligated on that debt. But at the end of the time period, they should give him the title. Number two, if he did not, if for some reason there was no reaffirmation agreement entered into, as long as he kept payment current on the car and completed his obligation, they really ought to be giving him his title.
Say,
One thing that he could do is move to reopen his bankruptcy case and move for sanctions for failure to hand over his title.
Let's go back to John. John, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
John, did you make payments on that car? Do you think you've paid that car in full?
No.
All right. So John,
No, I didn't. I didn't pay it in full.
Okay.
And like I said, I owed still like $7,000 on it.
All right. So John, you're under a misunderstanding, I think, right? The bottom line,
correct.
John, if you want the title to the car, you got to pay for the car, even though you filed bankruptcy.
Yeah, here's the misunderstanding. The misunderstanding is that the underlying debt was discharged, but the company still has a lien on the car. Now, let me give you a quick example of that. You have a house, and it's in it has a mortgage on it. You don't reaffirm. You go through a bankruptcy. The underlying debt technically was discharged, but if you don't keep the payments current, they have a right to foreclose their lien and take the property. Now, all they get is the real estate or the thing which they had the lien on, and they don't get to chase you for a deficiency, which is the difference between what you owed and the value of the thing, but they still get the thing, the real estate, or the car.
Very good. Thank you, Jim.